Welcome back into a spring edition of Bro Therapy with Bass and the Bear, presented by Marine South. I am Bryce Sparling. Here with me, as always, on every episode of Bass and the Bear, it's Casey Bass.
What's up, homie?
How you doing, buddy? How's spring break? Now, I know y'all are on a different school calendar. Is Bremen in spring break as well this week?
Yeah. Haralson County was last week. Bremen City is this week, which is a pain in the butt for everybody in this county. But
That's weird. Everybody else around us has this week. Carroll County's this week, Douglas County this week.
Carrollton, I'm assuming, because Bremen generally is on the Carrollton schedule.
Yeah, I think so. Coweta County, I believe. I don't know about Paulding.
Why would every West Georgia system not just be on the same calendar?
It makes too much sense.
Because we're just one big town.
Yeah. It'd make way too much sense for that all to happen. Another thing that kind of crappy, talk about West Georgia being on one big calendar. We got the middle school baseball playoffs coming up next week, and they decided to schedule it during some of the biggest high school baseball games that they're going to have. I don't know why they couldn't figure out days
during the region tournament.
Yeah. Like I don't know why they couldn't do it differently, but that kind of sucks.
I guess it's
like one big community out here.
Well, you know what though? It's middle school. They're not used to being involved through us. We're getting them used to it. We're getting them used to it. We're getting them used to having coverage. We're getting them used to people caring about what the middle school kids are doing. So they'll figure it out.
That's been some
middle school guys. We would love to be covering that tournament, but we have to cover the high school guys first.
And I can't do either one of Villarica's games because the high school is playing South Paulding both of those days that Villarica Middle School might play.
Big day.
Yeah, that's six in the state versus 7 in the state.
I want to start today with a sad note, but a happy note as well.
Okay.
My beloved Georgia Southern University, we lost a very, 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 very dear member of our family last week.
Saw that.
Freedom the Eagle. Freedom has been with us since 2004, 20 years. And it's a big deal because it's not like losing an UGA, which stinks. I'm not saying when a dog dies, it's not, but there's 9 of them. And there's a whole bunch of other. We've only had one. He's all we ever had. And there's not another one. Like Freedom was as much of a part of our program. He flew around the stadium, and then Steve, who was his handler, would walk around with him and take pictures. My kid has pictures with this eagle. Like in Birmingham. She got that picture in Birmingham. He goes everywhere, or went everywhere. He was a rescue bird from Florida. He fell out of a nest, got knocked out of a nest, something happened, and he was young, and it damaged his beak to the point that he couldn't be in the wild. But he could still fly, and he could eat, and Steve would feed him, right? But he couldn't hunt. So the Department of Fish and Wildlife let Georgia Southern have him. And we have a birds of prey place that's pretty much built around him.
That's pretty cool.
Facility for studying. And so he passed away, and man, it's really sad. His last flight was over Paulson Stadium when we were playing App State. So
appropriate team to have your last flight over.
Yeah, it's a sad, sad, sad thing. He is forever and ever going to be part of one of the greatest football traditions anywhere in the country, which is Georgia Southern football. I don't care what anybody says, we are as deep rooted in tradition as any other program that's been around 5 times longer than us, and Freedom was a major part of that. And it happens, right? He lived a great life and lived a lot longer life than he would have without us, but we've lived a lot better life because of him. So rest in peace to the GOAT, and much love to Steve. It's his 20 years, man. Best friend. So
is that a long time for an eagle? I wonder what an eagle's lifespan is. It seems like a long time for an eagle.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not an eagleologist, so I don't have those answers. We need to find an eagleologist.
Because it's been so long, I've been making notes. Because it's been so long since we did this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been so long because we're just busy people.
Dude, so busy.
You decided to have 18 children who were all ridiculously involved in everything. And you're a great dad, so you're involved in all their stuff. But I have a 13-year-old who's hysterical. And so I've just been writing down stuff that she's been saying. I couldn't wait to tell you, and I haven't told you in months. Last time we got together was January. I had shingles.
I think, yeah.
By the way, still.
Oh, that's not terrible.
I still got scabs on my. This is brutal. Don't get the shingles. So my child says, "You ready?"
Yep.
My child says to me, uh, I did a thing that dads do. I'm sure you've done more than once in the relationship with your wife, especially with your children around. And so I did a thing. And then from the couch, like basically from the other room, I hear fee fi fo fum. Dad keeps tooting and blaming it on mum.
That sounds like something you would hear in a Shrek movie.
Came from my couch. Then, like 3 weeks ago, I had went and did the PA for the West Georgia spring game. And when I
Oh,
came back
sweet.
in, I just sat my binoculars down on the end table by the couch because I'm a man and that's what we do, just leave crap laying around. So I'm sitting in my chair and I look over at the couch and my child is on the couch looking out the window with the binoculars from her seat. And she's looking at every window with her binoculars. And then she says eventually to herself, my eyelashes are too luxurious for these binoculars.
I don't know if that's one of those things that you can filter by when you go and shop for binoculars, like academy.com. Eyelash, hindrance would be. I don't want my eyelashes to be hindered by these binoculars.
The best quote that I have heard, maybe ever, was written in a press release. Wasn't from my kid. This was written in a press release. Do you remember when the co-president, Mr. Musk, shot his rocket off recently and it blew up?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Remember that?
yeah,
It was like shut down air systems for like 45 minutes. Nobody
yeah.
could take off on the East Coast. This was from the official SpaceX press release.
Yeah.
The greatest thing I've ever read. Are you ready?
Yeah.
The vehicle experienced a rapid and unscheduled disassembly.
They're going to start using that in NASCAR now. I like that.
A rapid and unscheduled disassembly.
For
That man
those
blew up.
who don't know, yeah, it done blowed up.
It done blowed up.
It done blowed up is essentially what SpaceX was saying there.
Yep.
Unscheduled rapid disassembly. I like that. I'm going to start using that when
Hilarious.
I'm up.
I heard it. Someone was reading it. I was riding down the road listening to the radio and they were just reading it and they just read it straight. And I went, wait a minute, what? Like I had to pull over and look up the thing. It was like, that's just great.
Failed successfully.
That's the person that everybody hates in the meetings that says circle around and we need to revisit like all those corporate. That's that person that wrote that.
Just those buzzwords. I hate
God,
those.
I hate them so
Yeah.
much.
Need to revisit this.
You get it 3 times a day, I bet.
Oh, it's awful, man. We need to put this in the back burner. This is
Do you find yourself accidentally doing it?
Oh God, no.
I've done it one
when I'm in
time.
meetings, I actually get reprimanded all the time for being too abrasive and too forward in meetings. Yeah, I am.
Hot take.
Who I am outside of my normal job is not who I am at my normal job.
Can't be. But here's the deal.
Yeah.
I got a hot take.
All right, hit me with it.
In the shower today. Zoom and Teams have made companies way less productive. Here's why.
Okay.
Meetings are so convenient.
That's very true.
Meetings are so easy to have. So all they do is have meetings all day. And they don't do any actual work. They just talk about the work that needs to be done because it's so easy. And there's a calendar in Teams that shows just how busy they are. They can prove it because they've been on these meetings all day, but they haven't actually done anything.
They just before this doing stuff.
Back before this stuff, you would just grab whoever you could grab, talk about it real quick, and then go do the thing.
Yeah.
And then if you had something important, then you would schedule a meeting and everybody would show up for it. But you couldn't do that more than once a day.
Yeah.
People would be like, what are you doing? We got to get the conference room. You used to reserve a conference room. And space limited how many meetings you could have. But corporate America is meeting itself to death. Look at the size of just some of these C-level suites and how many corporate people there that don't do anything. They don't have a job. There's no way that they have enough work to do. There's a school system around here that has 3 assistant superintendents, I think, or 2. Every school has a principal. Every school has multiple vice principals. And the county has a superintendent, but then there's multiple assistant superintendents. What do they do?
They schedule meetings so they can schedule meetings.
What do they do?
The worst are the meetings like that are not productive that could have been an email that drag on for 45 minutes. And I'm sitting there.
Just to
I
fill
don't
a
mind.
calendar.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, this could have been email. Oh my God. I'm like wasting my time. I got stuff to do. I have actual work to do. Like,
What What do you got, big guy? What's going on in your world?
man, I don't think I have a rant or anything now.
I can give you one.
Yeah, hit me with one.
You
I
want
don't
one
I
that
don't
I can tee you up for? It's not really a rant. It's just weird.
Okay. Yeah, hit
Did
me up with
you see uh, the North Carolina versus Maryland no hitter that Aiden Hall didn't throw?
No,
I'll explain this to you, and you're
I
going to
was
go look
not
it up.
aware of this. He didn't throw it.
North Carolina, Maryland,
Okay.
runner on first base, 2 outs,
Okay.
no hitter. Kid grounds one in the hole, right side, hits the base runner in the foot. Game over. They gave the kid a hit.
Yeah, yeah. It's a
How
hit.
is that a hit and not a fielder's choice?
The
That kid
fielder
doesn't
never
make
made
it
a
to first
choice.
base. He's never safe at first base. The game ends before he gets to first base. If you hit a home run and don't touch home, you don't get the run.
Yeah.
So how is this kid not get a no hitter? Baseball rules are dumb, especially
Yeah,
pitching
if that's
rules.
if that's the third out,
It's the last out of the game.
why would that kid? Yeah, I guess you have to do something with the batter,
Fielder's choice. That's why God made the FC.
but the fielder never even fielded the ball.
True.
Yeah, I
It's a
don't.
dead ball out, right? It's a dead
Yeah,
ball out when it hits
yeah,
him in the
but
foot.
but then you
Plays
have you
over.
have to do something with like scoring wise. It should still be a no hitter. Like,
You put him on first base as a fielder's choice.
yeah, but I think to be a fielder's choice, the fielder has to field the ball, which he never did.
Yeah, I have an infield fly. The ball's got to be on the infield. That doesn't stop him from screwing the Braves.
It doesn't have to be on the infield. Infield fly rule, oddly enough,
It's
does
got to be a
not have to
reasonable.
be
It's
on
got
the
to be a
infield.
reasonable effort to catch, and that is not in short field where you play in men's league softball.
Well, if you have a fast shortstop like Ella Della, or no, who was the shortstop the other day that
We're one in
up like
14. I'm not going to look it up.
35 miles?
Taylor
Oh man,
Cruz.
I don't remember who it was. I think it was for a red team. I don't remember who it was.
I think that's racist. I don't think you can say that.
Not the Redskins.
Definitely can't say that.
That was oh man, who it was Heard County was playing somebody and it was the Braves versus the Redskins and I called it the offensive mascot bowl.
That's isn't that Irwin? Not Irwin.
Uh,
Gosh Almighty, I remember
Harris
that.
County or Lamar County
Lamar.
or
Is it Lamar?
maybe it's Lamar. I don't
Lamar
know.
the Redskins? I don't know. I remember when that happened because I was calling
Yeah,
the game.
it was hilarious. The offensive
My
mascot.
kid was talking about the other day. We were talking about mascots because her mother graduated as a Brave from the University of West Georgia.
Yeah, back when they were the Braves.
Yeah, and so she was just like, Dad, you kind of call games for the Braves, and you worked for the different Braves,
Yeah.
for the Atlanta Braves. I was like, Brave doesn't bother me, kid. I said, and it doesn't really matter what I think, but I think Brave's cool. Like that one's slick. I said, but there was one that they changed that I'm pretty good with. It was pretty racist. She was like, well, what could it have been? Because she was with me.
Yeah.
And kids, the younger they get, the woker they are. But she was with me. She's reasonable. And I told her, well, there was a team called the Washington Redskins, and her mouth couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. I was like, you wouldn't believe the fight over that one either. Like people with a straight face going, that's not racist at all.
Come on. That's
not at
all
all.
right. Yeah. There's nothing bad about that.
With the color of their skin.
I hated they
Just
changed from
named
the
it the
Washington
color.
football team. Like that, I thought that was cool. I thought that was unique and I don't know. I thought it was something different. Like they didn't have a mascot. It was Washington football team. And I thought that was unique and cool. And
Did I
then
tell you my plan?
then they went to the Washington commies.
You know what my plan was?
What was
My
that?
plan was perfect. The Snyder idiot should have called me. I'd have changed nothing except the name. I left everything the same. I called them Washington Americans.
Washington Americans.
Come get some.
I thought they should do something that is indicative of the city they're in, and they should be the Washington Criminals. And every single game, they would have a different politician on their helmet. I thought that'd be cool.
Endorsed. The filibusters.
The Washington filibusters. Hey, how do you feel about the new torpedo bats that have kind of made their way into the MLB and made a big splash over the past couple of weeks?
More runs are better.
I'm not. Yeah,
I'm not. If it's legal, it's legal. I've been. I, I hate that it's the Yankees.
yeah. That's the worst part
They
about it. Like
figured it out, but
if it
like they
was
don't
the
need
St.
them.
Louis Cardinals or something, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm all for it," but it's the freaking Yankees.
The Royals. Why didn't the Royals figure that out?
Yeah, the Tigers, like something like a mid, a team you don't hate.
They've got five guys that can hit 60 home runs without that bat.
Yeah, you're right.
Barry's in trouble. Plus that
I'm
short
with you,
field,
man.
right?
I talked about it with Billy today, talking about like getting competitive advantages inside the rules in sports, and I said I think that's what makes sports amazing, and that's what sets other people apart. And we've seen it in golf with Bryson DeChambeau, who essentially designed his own irons, and last year they weren't approved until like 3 days before the Masters, and everything was in spec, and he played really well. So I think anytime you can work within the rules to get a competitive advantage, I'm all for it. Now NASCAR is completely different. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying in NASCAR. But that's
Well, that's what I
just
was about to say. You're a
that's the
NASCAR
culture.
person.
Yeah, that's the culture there. And um, I love the cheating aspect in NASCAR, but flip side, I hate the cheating aspect in baseball and the steroid era and stuff like that. So different strokes for different sports and different cultures and different backgrounds.
I love the cheating aspect of baseball, not the steroids part, but I like sign stealing
Oh
and
yeah,
all the dirty crap.
yeah,
Hide your signs better. Don't tip your pitches.
yep.
You know, do all the different things. I just get so that's why I get so frustrated with these high school coaches. Here's my rant.
Hit
We
me
may
with
have
it.
done this. If we've done this, stop me. Earpieces for catchers and us not having any managers when they get older.
We might have talked about it. I don't remember if we ranted about it.
In
I
the
know we
Georgia High
talked
School
about it.
Association, it is legal to put a microphone in your kid's ear and talk to them, just like they do in college, just like they do in the pros. And in the pros, they don't do it. Excuse me. They've got that thing on their deal. They push the button. So they're
Yeah.
communicating. The catcher and the pitcher are communicating. But at the other two levels, it's the coach in the dugout communicating with the catcher.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to start with this. Baseball coaches, Sprad, if you're watching this, Carson Cook, if you're watching this, it's legal. If you're not doing it, you're an idiot. Okay? Because your job's to win. And if you have the opportunity to have Carson Cook having a conversation with your catcher through the game, you do it.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be legal. Think about all the every major league manager that's going to pop into your head. 80% of them played the same position.
Yep.
They were all catchers because their whole life they've had to think their way through baseball games. They've had to figure out the situation, figure out every single batter, figure out what his weak spot is, figure out what he needs to do. They are checked out. The world's greatest ADD generation is checked out. And there's a grown man in their ear telling them what exactly to do every play. They don't have to think about it.
Just robots.
20 years from now, we're not going to have any good baseball managers because all the guys who are talking in their ear at some point are going to retire. Carson Cook is talking into Dylan Huey's ear at Bremen. When Carson was pitching, he had a catcher that had to call. Now they had to look in the dugout. They still look in the dugout and call pitches, which I don't like. But he's still out there on the island. Like he's not having a conversation with his coach. He's got to pay attention. He's got to kind of know what I expect it's going to be.
Right.
You put that thing in their ear, man, and they're checked out. They don't have to do it, and it's doing a disservice to the high school catchers. I think it should be illegal. I'm Marvin James. Tell all your boys at the office that they need to change that rule.
I'm with you.
There's nothing good about it. What's good about it?
And I can't tell you how many times the PitchCom system has caused delays in games because it doesn't fit, they can't hear, it falls down, yada yada yada, and it causes it causes more of a pain in the ass really than anything else. We don't use it at Villarica. Wade and Mike and Ben Gardner catching this year and Leighton catching last year. Well, we don't use it at VR. So yeah, I'm with you. I don't like it. I don't care at the MLB level because
they're not doing it.
Yeah,
The catchers communicating with the pitcher.
Yeah. Like they use that and like they're professionals. Whatever. Like I think they should do stuff differently, anyways. But
I agree.
yeah, in the high school ranks, in the college ranks,
I think they have it in college.
Do they?
I think so. I'm not sure.
If they do, I don't care what they do in college. Once again, those guys are one step closer to being professionals.
They are.
But high school, yeah, especially now they're getting
Yeah,
paid.
they're
But yeah,
professional.
the high school, yeah, I
Not
don't like
learning.
it.
It's
Yeah,
not learning the game. They're
agreed.
not learning the game. And what was funny was last year was they started this thing. A lot of them had it turned up too loud. The batter was just sitting there listening to them.
Yes, yeah, like a quiet stadium. You could totally. We had that happen to us. We went to one of the APS schools and they were using it, and I think it was Mason. Mason Westmoreland was telling me he was like, I heard every single pitch that was coming.
Fastball in. Make sure you get it in on his hands.
Yeah.
How'd you hit that one out of here? Well,
Well, it's sort of knew exactly where it was going to be.
I had a great scouting report.
Speaking of Leighton, I was just checking to see if he played today. He did not. He's recovering through some injuries at Presbyterian. They played Georgia today. We were going to go up there and watch it, but I didn't realize it started so early. We couldn't have made it up there, but it didn't look like he played yet. So,
Was that the worst last possession you've ever seen in a basketball game in the national championship last night for Houston?
Didn't watch it.
You didn't miss much.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not true. It was a really good basketball game. But the last possession, not good. In fact, the last minute and a half for Houston was just bad. And they were up.
Worse than Duke's? Was it worse than Duke's collapse Saturday night?
Nothing is ever in the history of the Final Four.
That was
the biggest one in history. It is scientifically, numerologically the worst. 13-point deficit in the fourth quarter is the worst that's ever been won.
I might have been seeing two TVs, but I was still coherent enough to realize that was a monumental collapse.
Not even that. They didn't just give up a 13-point lead. They gave up a 13-point lead and got a tech in the middle of it in their favor. Right? They got two free throws and an extra possession in the middle of a 13-point blow up with the best player on earth. And then they got one play and they get that playoff to him. Like, get him open and let him get a look.
So what I didn't understand was he forced that shot with like 9.5 seconds left. And I'm like, there's way too much time on the why force that shot with 9.5 seconds left? Like, hold it until 2 or 3 seconds if you have to force something like that. And then they don't have an inbound, they don't have a timeout, and then they don't have an inbound play already written up and scheduled. Like, they're just kind of freewheeling it. I don't know. It was very odd. Very, very odd.
Duke. This is Duke.
Duke.
The home of tournament inbounds passes. Yeah. This is the land of Leitner.
And that's the best you came up with. Most organized team. And it was, from what I remember, not the most organized, I don't think.
I was sitting there with the boys playing cards, and I was like, oh, this is the moment. Flag's about to have his Leitner moment. Watch this. He's going to be a hero. Because I want people to be heroes.
Yeah.
I'm not a Duke fan, but I like for the stud to be a stud.
And I like Cooper Flagg. He's fun to watch.
You know? And I want him to make the play because it's a good story. You know what I mean? I like a good story. And he boinked it. Still almost made it. Wasn't a good look. He still almost made it.
Wasn't a good look. We got home. We got home about 30 minutes before, or we got back to the house about 30 minutes before tip. So I think I watched most of it.
Hey, going to the Renaissance Fair this weekend.
Oh, dude, are you dressing up?
I am.
Oh, sweet.
It's a Viking theme for the weekend.
I've always wanted to dress up. You know, they rent the costumes there, and like,
oh, do they?
Yeah, they rent the costumes there. You can buy the costumes and rent them from the people there instead of like, if you don't have the stuff to supply your own. I've always wanted to do that. I love Renfest, man.
I've never been. I ordered a t-shirt. It's a Viking t-shirt. I wasn't getting a Minnesota Vikings hat, but I just ordered a Viking t-shirt so I could participate with my kid. Now my kid, she'll be decked out.
Yeah. Dude, you want to look into dressing up when you get there, like getting a costume at Renfest and dressing up.
Oh, well, when she sees it, yeah, she'll drag me into whatever.
Yeah. It's pretty
cool. Her mother got a thing. They went shopping today.
Oh, for Renfest
costumes.
Nice. Where do they go? Where do you get Renfest costumes? Just like, do you just all over?
They went to the consignment shops.
Oh, that makes sense.
The multiple consignment shops.
What now? Have you ever been to Renfest?
No, we've never. None of us have.
Oh my god, dude! Y'all are in for a day. We go every year.
Opening weekend.
I'd go multiple times a year. It's fantastic. So all the beer is fantastic. It's a little expensive. I'm trying to think. What's the? Oh, it should be good weather. Like what? 70s, mid 70s.
We
Should
have a
be
weekend
perfect.
pass, so we can go Saturday and Sunday if we want.
Probably going to be packed because opening weekend, obviously, in gorgeous weather. So it'll probably be packed. Have a lot of patience. I'd get there early to get a good parking spot. The beer is fantastic. Got to get a turkey leg. Now, the lines to get food and beer sometimes can get insanely long, especially right next to the main joust. Some of those lines you can be waiting forever. But you can find some smaller lines when you walk around. A lot of the shops you go in, they're so cool, man. They got some really cool stuff. They have like fake swords and like wooden shields, and they have like tarot card readings and palm readings, and like they have all this other just there's just stuff everywhere, man. And it's like the people that get into it, the people that work there are so entertaining. What I would do, you know me, I'm an itinerary planner type guy.
Hmm.
So what I would do is I would get there as soon as they open, stand in line, get you a map, and plan out your day. Plan out what you want to watch, where you want to go, what you want to see. I highly suggest the Mud Show, which I think might have changed names this year. But the Mud Show is awesome. Barely Balanced is awesome. The Wishing Well winches are fantastic. Birds of Prey are really cool if you like animals.
Oh, I love Birds of Prey shows.
Oh yeah, they have a fantastic Birds of Prey show. At least they did. If it's all from the past years. The joust is always cool. There's usually three jousts, and they have one in the morning, afternoon, and then like the nighttime joust is like the big ultimate crescendo joust.
Is there a hand-to-hand battle competition that I can join?
I don't think they have anything like the TikTok that I sent you. No, nothing like that that I'm aware of.
Because I could whip both of those dudes.
Dude, how cool! How cool was that? Like, I would go.
There
I
was
would pay money to go watch that.
neither one of those two fellas
Had nothing.
had the makings of a varsity athlete. Neither one of them. I could take them. Like I could have took them both. Give me a shield. I don't need the helmet. Just give me the sword and the shield, and I'll beat them into the dirt. They were
uh,
not impressive, but it was fun to watch.
So barely balanced is still there. Washing well winches are still there. Hilarious. I'm trying to see if the Mud Show is still there. If it is, you got to go to that. But yeah, they have a little map and it shows you where everything's at, and then on the back it has a show times where everything's listed. And I would see as many shows you possibly can because they do just such a fantastic job of entertaining and putting on a show. Man, it is Renfest is fantastic. I love it.
Well, I'm taking a 13-year-old thespian, so she will want to see all of the shows. So that'll work out great.
Trying to That's a photo gallery. I was trying to see if all the shows were the exact same. Yeah, it's fantastic. The turkey legs are good. They have some fried Oreos that are always good. The beer
Did
is
you
really
know? Did you know, as a guy who had yogurt for supper,
good. Yeah.
that the single highest calorie thing you can get in an amusement park is a turkey leg?
I don't doubt it.
They're like wild how many calories they are, like two Whoppers or something.
I don't doubt that at all. So we
Did
get
you get a did you add the little Billy Idol back there on the shelf? I think
yeah,
I see the little Billy Idol back there.
yeah, right.
Has that been there?
Yeah, that's Billy. Yeah. Billy, little Billy
Nice old
Idol.
Billy back there.
I tell you what I got into recently. So there's a great little vinyl shop in downtown VR. I forget what it's called now, but
In
the only
VR?
yeah, in downtown Villa Rica, right across from the barbecue joint down there. It's right next to Acra.
Okay. I got you. I
Yeah.
got you.
And I
Where
I
the
got,
fish market is.
yes, right next to the fish market. I got like 4 or 5 albums from the Mamas and the Papas, and I've gotten heavy into them recently. I didn't realize how big their catalog was. They're really good. I like the Mamas and the Papas, especially a lot of their deep cuts.
You're such a hippie.
Oh, big time. Yeah, absolutely. I always say I was born in the wrong generation. I should have been born, in the 60s and lived through the 70s or lived through the 80s or something. Yeah, I am a massive hippie.
Since we were last on, we had what I believe was our greatest achievement, which was the HSM Awards.
Oh man, how fantastic was that?
They went off without a hitch. We also got an exclusive and got to welcome Coach Jamie Abrams to
Yep.
West Georgia. Well, to West Georgia proper. Sorry to the folks in Cedartown.
That's
You
not
kicked
right.
him out, so I get to call you not West Georgia proper. Um, interestingly, uh, best I can tell, Polk County doesn't have a superintendent anymore. So the person that was responsible for that decision may have been the last one she made, or it was an insane decision, which I think we talked about the last time we were on here.
Yes, we certainly did. Yeah, we let our opinions know.
She
And
got her walking papers.
glad Jamie's down here. Glad he found himself a home. And I found out the reason, one of the big reasons why. I didn't know he grew up there, and he's got like a family farm, and I think his family's around or lives around Bowden, and they got a bunch of land and stuff. I didn't know all that. I didn't know that from Jamie. So I good for him. I'm glad he's next to closer to family.
Yeah, that is in the history of the good get gooder.
Yeah,
It's obscene that they've added him to that staff.
I like.
Good luck getting past the 50 with those
Yeah,
athletes. In
that's what
single
I'm
A.
thinking.
Like it's gonna be gross. It
I
is.
was I was trying to find. So sorry, I'm going down a Renfest rabbit hole now while you're talking. I was trying to find. They do have the Atlanta Boo Hurt team. It's an international combat sport designed to replicate the tournament fighting from the 14th and 16th century. The Atlanta Boo Hurt team will introduce you to the unique sport of joust and hand-to-hand combat. They are perform. They're not performing this weekend.
I don't want to joust. That involves a horse. Hand to
No,
hand
this is
combat. I'm in.
this is after you. I think they specialize in the hand-to-hand stuff. That's what it seems like. But
I'm in.
they're not performing this week, unfortunately.
I'm in. That's me, Holmes.
I was trying to find. I guess they don't have the Oh, they have the puppies of Penzani. That's pretty fun. Little puppy show.
Like the Pirates of Penzance,
Yeah, yeah.
but with
It's
dogs.
puppies. Yeah. They're
Do
pretty
they do the Pirates of Penzance with dogs? Now, if
No.
they do that,
That
that's
would be pretty cool.
wild.
There is
Gilbert and Sullivan, right? That's Gilbert and Sullivan. Pirates of Penzance.
there is a band that
Which is-
performs there.
People have got to be listening to us and like, these two are the biggest idiots ever. And then you pull
They're
out
not
Mamas and the
wrong.
Papas, and I pull out Gilbert and Sullivan, and then they're probably gonna run into a ditch. Like they're not wrong. We are idiots,
they're
but
not
we
wrong.
are two of the smartest idiots that you'll ever meet.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the barely balanced people are still there.
What is that?
So barely balanced is like
Redneck Cirque du
Cirque
Soleil.
du Soleil. Yeah. Yeah.
Love
and
it.
they've it's the same three people. They've been doing it for forever. Birds of Prey show
Love that.
is still there. So there's this band that performs there called Rhoda Temporis, and they're like a heavy metal 15th century band.
Dig
And
it.
it's interesting. It's very interesting.
Thou shalt bang thy head.
Yeah. The Wishing Well Winches are still there. That's fantastic.
It's like a comedy show.
Yes, the Wishing Well Winches is Boom Boom Shake is pretty cool. That's like a dancing, like it's sort of like Barely Balanced, but it's like a dancing, like belly dancing show. The Puppies thing is good. I don't know the Reeling Rogues. I haven't seen them yet. The Tortuga Twins are back. That's like a comedy show. Judas and Magnolia. I don't know what that is. I haven't seen them yet, but it doesn't look like we got the Mud Show.
I
Unfortunately,
did not know you were a Renaissance Fair mark, Bryce. The
massive.
kids can be fired up to listen to this.
I am a huge Renaissance fan, a Renaissance Fair fan. We go to Renfest every single year. It's one of my favorite. We try to go around Mother's Day because my mom was also a big Renfest fan, and it's fantastic. I also like to bring my cousin to it and embarrass her by yelling huzzah at just random points in the day in the entire crowd and just as loud as I can. So, yes.
Did you just have a freeze warning pop up on your computer?
On my phone, I
How
did.
do we get a freeze warning if the low's 40?
Is the low only 40? I thought it was getting lower than that.
Low 40. I mean, after midnight, it's going to go down to 36, but then back up to 38. I mean,
Which is crazy because I was just in South Georgia this past weekend and we were playing golf on Friday and Saturday in like high 80s, low 90s weather.
that's what it was here Friday.
Yeah.
Hot.
And now
I
we're
went swimming.
freeze
At the pool.
freeze warnings.
Yeah, Friday I got to cut the grass and jumped in the pool,
Like,
and the water was too warm.
oh my goodness.
I had the heater on, but when it's hot outside and the heater's on, then it's too much.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I hate about our community pool in our neighborhood is like when you're into July, the pool's so small, it's like bath water. Like it's not even
All them kids are peeing in it.
it's not even yeah, that too. But it's not
Artificial heat.
refreshing. Like we need to put a whole big iceberg in there in like the middle of July and make the pool refreshing. I hate that.
Make the pool cold again.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I'm gonna get a hat and a shirt that says that. Make the pool cold again. That's gonna be what I run on when I run for HOA president.
What are you calling this week?
I got two baseball games. Thursday I got VR at McEachern, and then Friday I have VR at home versus Fellowship Christian.
You're going to McKeever?
I'm going to McEachern, which I believe I haven't checked this week's I haven't checked this week's rankings yet. At one point, that was a top 10 matchup in the state. I don't know if McEachern's still top 10, but they've been flirting with the top 10 all year. I feel
They
like.
not 7 or 6, eh?
They are 6A, and it looks like they have fallen out of the
Did you
top
see
10.
what Houston County did this week
No, I didn't. What they
or
do?
the weekend, Saturday?
No.
They had this big national baseball showcase, and Houston County, who's not really, I don't think, ranked nationally, played Etowah. And Etowah's the number 1 team in the state of Georgia and the number 2 team in the country.
Yeah, Etowah's good.
And Houston County beat them 5-1.
Did they really?
However, 2 things, excuse me, about that broadcast as my light continues to change. What's up with that?
I don't know. I don't know why.
The light's not changing. It's struggling with the white balance. The Zoom situation is. Anyway, the first thing drove me nuts. And it was the fellows that were calling the game. I think they were calling it from their house. But they had a little window in the bottom left corner where you could see them calling the game.
Okay. I've seen that before.
Yeah, no. Stop it.
I've seen that before.
Stop it. But the second thing was those fellows, as I was looking at them, they told me that in the previous game, and I do not remember what team it was, or unfortunately the kid's name, but in the previous game, the high school game that happened before this high school game,
Yeah.
the kid pitching for one of the teams threw 7 pitches over 100 miles an hour.
I don't doubt it.
7
I don't doubt it.
in high school.
Alexander has a sophomore that can throw low 90s.
I played with Jason. I'll remember my buddy Jason.
Okay.
And he was the first pick of the second round of the Phillies. Right-handed pitcher, 6'4", 240 pounds.
Yeah.
Sykes, Jason Sykes. Played first base, hit cleanup, pitcher. He's also our place kicker, kicked off. He was good from 50, straight on kicker. He maybe threw 91 in high school. And it was the fastest thing you couldn't imagine anything faster. So there's just randos out there throwing 94 now.
Yeah.
Psycho's a monster. He's huge and a great pitcher. The first pick of the second round. The first pick of the second round, dude. That's a stud, right?
Yeah.
And maybe 91, 92, maybe.
From what I understand,
We thought he threw 300.
I mean, 90. You usually have 1 or 2 guys on your staff now if you're a big school that can go 90. Alexander has 2. I think South Paulding has 2. I mean, yeah, if you're a big time program right now, you got at least 1 or 2 guys that can throw. That's why I found it. It's Matt Capps when I saw him when I was a little kid. I mean, I was a freshman, and he, I think, graduated that year, and we did a summer baseball camp.
What was Capsy throwing though in high school? 91?
6 million? I don't know. It was
91. It looked like 106.
It was so fast it made me quit baseball. I'll tell you that. I saw Matt Capps pitch, and I thought that every high school pitcher pitched like that, and I was like, I'm going to stick to football. Forget this. No, thank you.
Jason Sykes hit me in the fanny during a 100-inning game. I was a freshman. He was a senior. Hit me with a fastball right in the left cheek. And me being the tough guy, was like, I'll stay in and hit. Right, I'm not going to take first base. It was a scrimmage.
Yeah.
100-inning game. So we had the freshman team, the JV team, and the varsity team. We rotated, right?
Right. Okay.
So we started against the varsity for some reason. So it was us versus Jason Sykes. By the way, his catcher was the 5th overall pick in the draft.
Oh my God.
So that's who the battery was. His catcher, Peter, I listened to Peter Gammons 5 years after he graduated from high school say he was the best defensive catcher in all of professional baseball. That's who his catcher was.
Holy crap.
Mark Johnson. So he hits me in the fanny and I dig in and Johnson says, dude, that's pretty good. Like, go first. I was like, no, I'm going to hit. And he just laughed. It was like, all right.
I'll be all right. Throw it in here.
Where do you? He hit me in the exact same spot the next pitch. And when he did, I heard Mark Johnson snort. He snorted from under his mask. I took my base. I got the point. I went to first.
Yeah,
And I got about a
I'm gonna go to
2-foot
first.
lead. I let off about that far. Like, don't throw over here.
I'm gonna go to first now.
No more of you. I had a bruise this big on my butt.
Message received, sir. Thank you.
Message received.
All right, Casey. I think we're about up on time here on our free Zoom meeting. If we get back into doing this regularly, which we should now that baseball season is calming down.
Not do this on Teams.
I don't know. I've never used Teams.
Maybe we should try that. Whatever, be free. Like, let's keep looking for the free.
Yeah, the free thing.
If it's free, it's me.
You got any final words?
We're getting 3 views. We're getting 3 views a month on this deal. We're not making any money, so we're not. This is just so we don't lose our minds. No, man, I'm good. I'm glad to do this, but I know I'm bugging you to death. But you've been busy, which I mean, good for you. Like, keep doing what you're doing. But my kid's a teenager, so she goes to her room and I don't see her anymore. So I just need somebody to talk to. It's you, bud.
Yeah. Now that baseball season is winding down, I mean, I got 4 more regular season games, and then we're into play.
Make a run.
This team is different than last year's team. Last year's team went out and expected to beat teams just because of how talented they were. Man, this team just scratches and claws, and
it hits the baseball.
It does, and it's
that was last year they didn't hit the baseball.
And it's different this year because, like, last year there was a lot of pomp and circumstance, I feel like, surrounding the team, and a lot of times, we threw our cleats out on the field and we just won because we were more talented. We didn't necessarily outwork the other team, and this year's team, man, I think Wade is ingrained it into their brains that you're not as talented as last year's team, and you do have to work 10 times harder to get the success that they had. And they have absolutely toted the rock the entire time. I mean, they've heard the bell and they've came to deliver every single night. So it's been fun calling this team, dude. I can't wait for the next 4 regular season games and in playoffs to see where they take us.
I look forward to it. I feel like we got 3 teams that are possible. VR Central obviously is having some kind of great season.
Yeah.
And then do not sleep on the Bremen Blue Devils. I don't know how they have double-digit losses. If you look at their schedule, they're all 1-run losses.
Yeah.
The pitching staff at Bremen, like the pitching staff that they have, and they hit the ball pretty well, but the pitching they have,
yeah,
2 of them get hot. Good luck beating them. I called a doubleheader the other day. They gave up 1 hit. It was an infield hit to first.
I tell you one team as well that
2 games
that you need to look out for that could legit win the state.
Who?
The Bowden Red Devils.
Bowden. I forgot about Bowden.
Yeah.
They're always winning everything.
Yeah.
So I just forgot about Bowden. Yep, you're absolutely right about Bowden. Thank you.
Mike McKinney's favorite school. The Bowden.
Oh yeah, shout out McKinney. We wanted to make sure to get that plug in there for you, bud. We did. We this Bowden segment brought to you by Mike McKinney, voice of the Mount Zion Eagles. What does he say? Welcome back to the Bowden group text.
Go look at the teams you just talked about that could have a chance to make a run. VR, Central, and Bremen. Bowden played all 3 of those. Bowden lost to VR 2-0. They lost to Central 5-4 in 9 innings, and they lost to Bremen 7-6. So, they're playing better competition and competing with them. So, I'm the only loss they have, I think, in single A is to Modell, and
they're so good.
They're like the best team in the state.
They're 21-3, 21-2, and they're losing to guys like in Tennessee. Listen, as we leave on the Bowden note for Mike McKinney.
Yep.
And Mike would absolutely, we joke about Mike because he is diehard Mountain Zion, but he would co-sign this. We started with sadness. Let's end with awesomeness. Finally, whatever idiots make up these stars gave Caden Prothrow his 5th star. He finally got his 5th star. Caden Prothrow is a 5-star, which we've been telling you since he was in the 8th grade.
Yeah, I saw him freshman year, and I was like, oh, that kid is going to be amazing. Going to be a stud. Yeah,
I think it's a 1st rounder
somewhere.
the ninth grader. Like, that kid's a first rounder.
Yeah,
Give him the
yeah.
stars right now.
He makes like he could make me look like a good quarterback. That's how good he is.
He
Like
was a sophomore tight end with an offer from every university on earth,
yeah,
and they wouldn't give him his fifth star. Like, what are you waiting on?
so stupid.
Then, then
That whole
they
thing is so
clock him
stupid.
on the laser last year. The fastest time they clocked all year long in a game was Caden. That
That
company.
doesn't
So I
surprise
can't
me.
remember the name of that company, but he was their fastest time of the year at
That doesn't
six foot
surprise me.
six.
Oh, and also he plays basketball and baseball, and he plays those at a very elite high level.
Second team all state in basketball, I
I
think.
think so. Yeah,
Something big. Like he
yeah.
was, yeah, he's a force. So congratulations, Caden. We love pulling for you, buddy.
Good,
We love
good
pulling
kid.
for you. I spent 10 minutes with him at their parents' meeting. By the way, I go to the Bowden parents' meeting, right?
Mhm.
Turns out it's one of those things just really for the rooks,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There was one, I saw one varsity football player there who I recognized. It was Caden Prothro. And he sat and talked to me for 5 or 10 minutes afterwards, just me and him,
He's the
about
type of
like
kid
how to
that
do interviews and
you want to be successful. Like that's the kid you want to pull for. Like that's the kid that deserves all the success that comes his way.
you meet his parents and you get it.
Mhm.
Like when I met Pop, like I was like, oh my gosh, this okay. I understand. Of course he's a good kid. He's a
Yeah,
great man right here.
yeah.
Yeah. So congratulations, Mr. Five Star.
Yep.
Although we already knew it, now everybody knows it.
Well deserved. All right, for Bryce Sparling, Casey Bass, this has been another episode of Bro Therapy presented by Marine South. See y'all later.
Love you, mean it.